Item number 11, resolution. Resolution in support of Michigan Senate Bill 400 and Michigan House Bill 4651, amending the Emergency Telephone Services Enabling Act. I know we have Sheriff Wickersham and Emergency Manager Vicki Wolber here. Would you please come up and give us, I know we had a lot of questions on this the other day that Gary from GCSI couldn't answer. If you would give us kind of a quick overview, and I'll tell you where the what is the infrastructure that it covers? That was one of the questions, and you know, just a general overview.
Sure, I'll
just.
Good afternoon,
Thank you,
Commissioners.
Sheriff.
I'll just give you a quick overview. I know there's a lot of nuts and bolts, and I think Vicki is going to have some more of those more specific operation and infrastructure type answers. But we are here in front of you asking this board for support of Senate Bill 400 and House Bill 4651. Not here just as the sheriff and the sheriff's office. We're here for all law enforcement, fire, and EMS providers here in Macomb County. We are also, in this resolution, we're asking the board to oppose any amendments amending 4651 or Senate Bill 400 to include any additional state of Michigan taxes on telephone services customers under the guise of the 911 surcharge. So with this legislation, if there's an increase, we want to make sure it's going to 911 services. Some of the highlights here, if you've probably done your research, Commissioners, but it increases the state 911 fee from 19 cents to 25 cents, and the information we're getting out of Lansing is that reflects actual costs to operate, maintain, and upgrade the 911 systems throughout the state. It makes an adjustment of money collected by retailers, or percentage of by retailers, from 1.92% to 4.19%. They're trying to get after the prepaid phones that aren't being assessed this fee currently. It increases the County Board of Commissioners' ability to levy a fee from 42 cents to 55 cents. And if you're not aware, we are one of 13 counties in the state of Michigan that do not levy a fee for 911. And it provides the state 911 committee to take legal action for those carriers that won't pay the bills. I think with that, we can open it up to questions and get a little bit more specific if that's right with you.
Commissioner Drollet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks for that presentation. I appreciate the summary and the concept and so forth, and I'm generally favorable toward that. But one of the reasons I sometimes have concerns about resolutions on legislative bills is because of the fact that they oftentimes change. And I texted a friend of mine in the legislature. He said a substitute was just introduced today, which obviously we haven't seen. So that's some of my concern, that we're not sure what the final bill is exactly going to look like, and yet on paper we're committing ourselves to it. I don't think that's a question as much as it is just an expression of concern.
I would agree with you. We met earlier and we were waiting for that information. Again, I guess I should have probably spoke as it is currently introduced, and again, if there's something to change, but I do agree with you until you see it.
Yeah, it makes it sometimes difficult because.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that that thought.
Commissioner Drollet, I just point out that farther down the document, it does say that we would support the House Bill 4651 and Senate Bill 400 as introduced. So that's the third therefore, well, be it resolved, then therefore from the bottom. So it does speak to that. At least you could go on the fact that we're looking at the original introduction of the bill is what we're supporting.
Oh, as I see it as introduced.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. And I know we've tried to cover potential amendments with that.
Yes.
Secondary part, but you just never know how these things weave their way through.
Yes.
All right, thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Just curious, the fact that we don't levy and other counties do, is that related to before recently anyway, cities handled their own and townships, they handled their own 911 systems? Maybe not up here, but at least down on the south end. I'm not sure about up here, but is that why? Do they get the money from?
It's just a, Yeah, go ahead, Vicki.
Sorry, with the 19 cents that comes into the county from the state, or our portion of that, we collect approximately 1.3 million. And that gets divided up based on population to the other PSAPs in the county. So this is not just a county sheriff's office dispatch fund. It goes to the other PSAPs. I believe there's a total of 10 in the county.
So the 911 fee that we don't levy, that other counties levy, would be dispersed throughout the county?
Correct, right. That would
Okay.
happen basically the same way based on population.
And
Okay.
To answer your question, Commissioner, I can't really address that. It may have been a board decision or may never ever been brought forward, but again, we're one of the 13 counties that don't charge, and we're the only county in southeast Michigan that doesn't.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other speakers on the board. I'd like to have a motion to adopt. If we have a motion by Commissioner Lucido, supported by Commissioner Leonetti. We've already had discussion. Please vote on item number 12, or 11. Oh, well, go ahead, Commissioner.
I'm going to ask the sheriff a couple of questions other than this here.
After this,
Right now, or,
let's finish the vote right now.
Okay.
Since we're already in the midst of it. And we're waiting on who? Commissioner, waiting on who? Marv, hey, Marv. All right,
Feel
thank you.
those tires? All right.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
So we'll let a little leeway here, and we'll go to 11B. Marv,
yeah, Sheriff, what I'd like to know is how did the deal at Cabela's, when you had the grand opening, you had a county deal for people for the correctionals, or for the department?
Yep.
How did that ever go for you?
Cabela's went well. We've also done 2 in-house open houses where we did some recruiting right here, right at our offices, and I'm happy to report we're getting some quality candidates, and we're getting applications. So
Okay,
things are
there's
starting to look up.
2 other comments I got. I get tired of seeing TV when something major happens in a community, wherever it might be in the county. Well, what the heck do? They say, call your local police department. They quit giving the phone number of the sheriff's, 5151 or wherever. You know, I'd like to see sometime when you have your sheriff's meeting, to bring that up with them, because some of the older people don't know what the hell the number is, and they may have some information about it. They just say, call your local police department.
We'll make sure they start
Okay,
adding phone
and the
numbers.
third thing is,
All right.
we're to item
911 would've worked
11B.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, this won't take long. You know, periodically, something happens at the department with some employee. The newspapers get it however they want. They blow it up until they get all the facts and everything. That happens, has been happening for years. Some of the major things that have happened at your police department, the sheriff's office, while you've been sheriff, that these guys did something over and above what they normally do, and you pat them on the back, and that's fine. I think the board ought to know about some of these, so they don't have to have this negative feeling sometimes. Why isn't this guy disciplined, or why isn't that guy? There is some great police work over there, and when it happens, I'd like to see you bring it up to the board.
We can do that.
Thanks,
With that,
Marv.
I'll shut up and you're on your way.
Marv, I can go with number 4.
Thank you, Marv. Item number 12, proclamation
Thank you.
commemorating, thank you, Sheriff, I'm sorry. Thank you, Vicki, thank you, Sheriff.